Welcome back to Smoky Ribs. I'm Russ Jones. Stop the music. All right, today we're doing an old chicken recipe that comes out of the 1950s. I'm calling it Southern Church chicken. It has many names. It's also referred to as Shenandoah Valley chicken. In upstate New York, they have a chicken recipe up there called Cornell chicken, which I think is highly related to the Alabama white sauce chicken, which was actually out in the 1920s. So it's not important, the history of it or anything, but they all have one thing in common. They're all vinegar sauces. I will be using my new Pits and Spits grill. I'm telling you, when I seen this pit, this is the recipe that came to mind. A lot of recipes came to mind, but this is perfect for this style of barbecue chicken. So to get started with this recipe, it all starts with the basting sauce. We need to get that on the stove. Let me show you step by step how it's done. We're going to start with 1/2 teaspoon of xanthan gum. And what this xanthan gum is going to do is it's going to duplicate the raw egg that Cornell chicken calls for. It's going to give it some viscosity. Normally you would have to use like a blender to do this, but in oil it will dissolve very rapidly, as you see here. 2 cups of apple cider vinegar. Now this might seem a little heavy on salt, but I've got 4 tablespoons of salt going in. 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Now we're going to add in 2 teaspoons of a poultry seasoning. 1 teaspoon of garlic salt. Now I'm going in with 4 lemons. Just going to give them a little squeeze first, but they will be boiling in this as well. Can you see the viscosity of that? That's what the xanthan gum does. What I like about it, regardless how hot or how cold, it's always remaining the same thickness. Very common product. It's completely natural. You just have to research how and why it was made. It's in just about every product you use now. Any kind of bottled dressings, anything like that. 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Now this is going to more or less balance out everything. It too is an acid, it's vinegar based, but it's going to add another element into this sauce. Final ingredient is going to be, and this is strictly up to you, it's optional, but I'm going to go in with like a tablespoon of crushed red pepper flakes, and that's it. So I'm just going to give all this a really good mix. We're going to fire this burner up. I'm going to let it come up to a heat to like a low simmer. And that's only just to infuse all the flavors, break down the lemons some. Once I do that, it's going to be time to baste our Southern Church chicken. Our sauce is ready. I just got the Pits and Spits loaded with charcoal, turned on the gas to get the charcoal going, and it is right. I've got it spread out. It's ready to cook on. Now, one thing about that xanthan gum, one more thing I want to elaborate. Have you ever had a bottle of Italian dressing, seen how all those herbs and seasoning were just floating in the bottle? They wouldn't settle to the bottom. That's what xanthan gum does. It creates suspension. That's why I wanted it in this sauce. Plus it helps it adhere better to the chicken without running off like water. I just had my wife help me prepping the chicken. I'm using a Saucy Bottom Barnyard Magic rub that I got from Saucy Bottom. I'll let you know what I think about that rub, but you can use any of your favorite poultry type rubs for this. That is your seasoning for the chicken. That marinade that I made, that sauce, that is your flavor. We're gonna get the chicken out here. This thing is ready to go. So we're gonna go on with this chicken. I got the charcoal, it's already leveled out. I'm using up half the pit. I want a cool zone this in case my temperatures are a little high. I can always move things around. It gives me more playing room. You always want at least one cool side on any pit that you use. So I'm gonna raise this hood. We're gonna get the chicken on here, and every 15 minutes we're gonna turn it, we're gonna baste it, we're gonna flip it, we're gonna just keep doing that for about 2.5 to 3 hours until we get the doneness we need. So, hey, now's the time to roll the music. I do think our chicken is ready. Let's check it with our instant read thermometer. If you don't have an instant read thermometer, I'm telling you, this is going to be your very best investment if you do any kind of outdoor cooking. This chicken's right where I want it. Anything over 165 is good, but I tell you, I'm not scared to bring these up to 195. I know they're not going to dry out, especially with the method I'm showing here. These are done. This thermometer is a ThermoPro, and I have discovered that this thing works just as accurate as any of your really expensive models out there. It's very durable, it's very accurate, it's fast, the response time is very fast, fast as anything I've got. It's waterproof, and the most important part, it doesn't cost a fortune. This is our most expensive thermometer. It comes on half of what one of your high-end thermometers from some of these other companies would cost you, half. And their bottom ends work just as good. So hey, I highly recommend you check out ThermoPro. I have links in the description box. I'm gonna grab a piece here just as soon as it's cool enough to handle and let you know what I think about it. All right, so I grabbed me a piece to bring back out here. It's cooled off to where I can handle it. I wanna see how this, oh yeah, look how that separates out of that joint just like that. All right, here we go. Let's do a taste. I gotta tell you, that thigh left over there, that's my favorite part, but this drumstick, it runs a close second. Smells incredible. Oh my God. Look at that. I mean, it just pulls right off the bone. This flavor is like no other. I hope y'all give this a try. What I like about this skin is it is cooked. The way I've cooked it is so thin. I wouldn't call it crispy, even though it does seem to have a little crisp, but we're constantly saucing it. All the fat was rendered out, and what it did was just left it a beautiful bite through. No rubber, it's not even thick, it's like thin as a tissue. It's so good. I think I've got the new finger licking good chicken right here. Well, I gotta tell you, the Pits and Spits rocked this cook. My first time ever cooking on it, and I'm learning it. It's gonna take me 2 or 3 cooks to really get this dialed in, but I learned a lot just from this cook. I do know, like I said earlier, never completely fill charcoal from one end to the other unless you want it. Like if you're searing steaks, then fine, do that. But if you want a more controlled cook, you've gotta leave yourself 2 zones there, a cooler zone, a hotter zone, and you can control that not only with air ventilation, but also by how much charcoal you start off with. And I'll learn how to tweak that as time goes, but I highly recommend you try this. It is fantastic. My wife loved it. I love it, and we've had it before. We've done this recipe before, so it's not new to me, but I wanted to share it with you. If you've never heard of it, there's a lot of information online about it. Well, I hope y'all give it a try. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm Russ Jones with Smoky Ribs Barbecue.